Hail Kingdom! Welcome to Baldur's Gate 3. I got nice request recently to make a Swashbuckler build, so let's do it, because since latest patch I completely ignored this new rogue subclass. Normally I try not to rely on any race in my builds, but today we got a little problem which called Swashbuckler, because rogues are not insanely overpowered, so we need to sprinkle this class a little bit with correct race choice. And honestly we get two choices, we get elf or half-elf, especially high half-elf or high elf sub-race. Normally when you're starting rogue, you probably want to get wooden half-elf or elf, because they will have extra movement speed, and it benefits class a lot. But high elves comes with a cantrip. And since latest patch, we got a new pretty powerful cantrip which called Booming Blade. This is insanely overpowered, especially in early game, but it stays with us forever, so it's really powerful cantrip and I really recommend to start with it. Now you need to choose only how you want to use this rogue. If you want more utility and play it as a range class with a bow a little bit, then you want to start as elf, because elves will start with longbow and shortbow proficiency, so it's like a better choice. But if you want to go into melee range, especially in early mid game, then half elf is a choice, because they will come with shield proficiency. Anyway, in the end game, we want to leave our offhand empty, therefore I will start as elf. It's the best choice in my opinion for this build. So we're going with elf, high elf sub-race, with Booming Blade cantrip, and starting class will be rogue. We are building a rogue after all. Now we're quickly making our character look like a real rogue and allocating ability points. We will start with 17 points in dexterity with intention to get +1 from the first act, 16 points in constitution to survive battles, we will be in a melee combat most of the time, wisdom at 14 to protect ourselves from psychic spells. And of course we don't need any strength or intelligence, we will be weak and dumb, but with a little bit of charisma. If you're using this as your main character to talk a lot, you can swap wisdom with charisma, so you'll have better chances to succeed in dialogues. Skill proficiencies will go like this. By taking Urchin background, we will get nice bonuses in sleight of hand and stealth, and we will improve them even more with expertise. So I will have +7 with stealth and sleight of hand, therefore we can sneakily go behind enemy backs, we can steal anything from their pockets. If you don't like stealing, then spend these points in perception, and also we allocate a little bit in acrobatics, deception, performance and persuasion, just for role-playing stuff and for dialogues. Captain Sack-Jero ready to venture forth. Now, before we jump into early leveling, let's understand how rogue works. Main source of damage for rogue is sneak attack, and it triggers when you have advantage against foe, but at the same time it triggers only when you have funniest weapon. So normally when you're playing as rogue, you want to attack from shadows. Basically you want to be in hide position before combat starts, then initiate combat, and it will trigger sneak attack, but there is secondary way how you can trigger it, just by having a line nearby of enemy. This will also give you ability to use sneak attack, but you don't want to use it manually. You actually want to go into your spellbook, into reactions, and you want to make sure there is sneak attack turned on in reaction. You can even choose do you want to trigger it, and that's like pro way to use it. Therefore, when I attack, especially with Booming Blade, I will trigger this insane amount of extra damage. But sneak attack will be triggered if there is ask checkbox turned on, only if enemy can't survive your initial attack, so that's a good option. Like this. Now I got an option to try and finish enemy with sneak attack for extra damage, but here's our basic strategy. If enemy survives even sneak attack, we just attacked with Booming Blade, and on its own it's doing basically nothing. Yeah, you're doing no damage at all, and it costs action. So to trigger damage from Booming Blade, we actually need to force enemy to move. If we're standing still, it's useless cantrip. But if I run away, enemy will try to attack me, so it's pretty risky strategy as you can guess. But on turn end, if enemy is forced to move, well, he is smart enough on hard difficulty to stand still. Oh no, he's not very smart. Now you can understand the basic playstyle of rogue and also a lot of weaknesses it have to activate its setup. But after reaching level 2, we get kinda one problem out of our way. We're getting cunning actions of hide, dash and disengage. So now we can use our bonus action to have more movement speed, to hide or to disengage from enemy. And yes, all of these actions is bonus actions. Therefore, we can start combat with Booming Blade, then use Cunning action disengage, run away from enemy, it will force enemy to move. Therefore, enemy will take additional thunder damage. If we attacked from sneak position, or we got advantage in other matters against target, we also dealt a little bit of sneak attack damage. And this kind of a rogue, even at level 2, already can unleash around 3d6 damage against target every single turn, which is pretty crazy, and being really safe at the same time with disengage. However, finally at level 3 we unlock our subclass choice, and it will be a Swashbuckler Build, as I promised. It changes almost everything and fixes all problems rogue have. It's actually one of the funniest subclasses, turns out, if we set up this subclass properly. This subclass features fancy footwork. If you make a melee attack against a target, the target can't make opportunity attacks. On top of this, we get Rakish Audacity. We're getting bonus to initiative rolls, therefore we will attack first in the combat more often, and it's great for any rogue. Also it scales with rogue level, so it will be higher later on in the game, and we no longer need advantage to trigger sneak attack, as long as we are within 1.5 meters of the target and don't have disadvantage. This description is a little bit misleading, as well as description over here. So if we check description over here, it calls we deal extra damage, basically the sneak attack extra damage if we have advantage, but we don't need to have advantage, as you know, so it's already garbage description. But also there is additional information if there are no other enemies within 2 meters of the target. It's also a little bit misleading. The actual mechanic of this sneak attack is pretty simple. If you surround it, basically if there's any enemies nearby and there's 2 or more enemies, you won't be able to trigger it without advantage. You still can trigger the sneak attack with advantage, but as you can see right now there's 2 enemies in my circle. If we move closer to this guy, we already can trigger this sneak attack. So if there's only one single enemy in this circle, you can trigger this sneak attack pretty easily. Therefore we will just use Booming Blade, we attack this target, and he's out, with a sneak attack of course. After applying Booming Blade to next target, we're triggering our next cool ability of Swashbuckler, and we can run away for our movement speed, and that's even not it. Yeah, this target died from Booming Blade, but don't forget, right now we got bonus actions, therefore we can abuse it pretty easily against targets, not only at this point of the game, but basically throughout the game. You just need to understand how this basic strategy works. But first of all, let's get level 4. Since at level 4 we get our feat. And there's technically 3 feats we are looking for when we're playing this build. You can take them in any order you like. There's ability improvement, and we want to take 2 points in dexterity, so we will have maxed out dexterity, basically at this point of the game, at around level 4 or 5, when we fight boss that will provide us with bonus +1. There's alert feat that will give us extra +5 bonus to initiative rolls, and we can't be surprised. It's super useful, we will act first no matter what throughout the game, with all the bonuses that our rogue provides. So it's really powerful stuff. And last but not least is Savage Attacker. We will attack and roll damage dice twice and pick highest result. We roll loads of dice when we attack, therefore it's really nice and useful bonus to have. I like to start with +2 into dexterity, it's just safe and straightforward way to upgrade our class. But don't forget, at level 4 Swashbuckler will give us nice bonuses. And it's bonus actions that we can use to attack our enemies. It's insanely cool stuff, since normal rogues actually can't use bonus actions for some useful stuff like attacks. We, on the other hand, will have 3 different dirty tricks. These dirty tricks will give you different results, and you want to use them based on situation you're in. For example, flick of the wrist. You will flick your weapon at target and possibly disarm them. You can use them against targets that got weapons. Ability to disarm enemies at level 4 is pretty insane. Also, unlike many other classes, you can use it as much as you wish throughout the day. So basically every turn you can use your bonus action for this attack. Sand Toss will possibly blind enemy, and Sand Toss can be used against range enemies. For example, there is a mage, like this lady over here, or maybe some archers, so you will blind them. Blinded enemy will have disadvantage on attack rolls, and range attacks will have reduced range. Last but not least is Vicious Mockery. It will insult creature will have disadvantage on next attack roll, and if you got a question, Spud, why do I need to use Vicious Mockery instead of other dirty tricks? They got more damage. Well, Vicious Mockery don't have nice and powerful damage, but it's a range cantrip, so you can use it from pretty long range, unlike other two dirty tricks, which is melee range tricks. So let's start the combat, and I will show you one more pretty neat extra stuff our dirty tricks have. They not only gives you ability to attack with your bonus action, starting from level 4, but also you will have advantage on your next attack. Therefore, even if you're surrounded, you don't need to pick your position perfectly. So in this position, I won't be able to have advantage on any of these targets, and I can't activate my sneak attack bonus damage. But let's say we got in, then used our dirty tricks to try and drop his weapon. He actually dropped his weapon. It cost us bonus action, and now we get advantage on our next attack roll. Therefore we attack with high chance to hit, and of course we're using Booming Blade on this target. Now he is affected by Booming Blade, and since we just attacked him, he won't have opportunity attack. Therefore we can retreat safely without using our bonus actions on stuff that deal basically no damage and can safely end our turn. If you're in real danger, like we are right now, instead of trying to deal as much damage as possible with our dirty tricks, we will save our bonus action, so we will do Booming Blade to deal some damage and use dash action. This will double our movement speed, so now we can safely run away for 18 meters instead of 9, and this will force enemies to run towards us, use dashes actions instead of trying to hit us, and then we make our fight from better situation. This guy already got boomed by Booming Blade. This target is isolated, so we can do this sneak attack and safely remove him from existence, run away a little bit, but that's for solo gameplay. If you're playing in party, of course you want to identify what your character need to do for the party. For example, there's a really powerful and scary mage. Then again, as I told you, something like Sent Toss, you will blind enemy, reposition yourself a little bit, and now she got no ability to even try and attack us. Her range attack is just 3 meters, she just can't come close enough. And also on the next turn we get advantage on attack roll against she, so it's sneak attack for extra damage and easy finish. Okay, that's cool. Even with basic gear we are pretty powerful and can clear this first part of the game, but with gear it will be a lot more easier and we will be a lot more powerful, of course. So, I told you that one of the most important parts about sneak attack is we need to have finesse weapon. And technically there is 4 types of finesse weapons. There's daggers, short swords, scimitars and rapiers. There's also 3 different weapons which is also finesse weapons, and they are long swords. Since we are elf, we can use them also. That's why it's nice to pick elf. It's Faller Aloof that you can get in Underdark, Larethian Brass that you can buy in Githyanki Crochet a little bit later, and Dancing Breeze, which is Act 3 weapon. All of these weapons is weird and they also finesse weapons, so you can use them as rogue, but we are playing as pirate today, so our choice is rapier. You can just buy good rapier from the traders, just look for rapier +1. Optionally you can swap rapier for knife of Undermountain King that you can buy in Githyanki Crochet, but honestly rapier +1 works great too, and it's a lot better stylistically, especially for us, for our Captain Sekjero. Anyway, that's items you're looking for in Act 1. I told you that you can use your bow as starting weapon to start a fight from range, for example, pretty nice and useful stuff. Turn 1, Vicious Mockery and then advantage attack with Bow of Awareness, pretty good. And Bow of Awareness is really good, you can buy it from Trader in Goblin Camp in Act 1, and you gain +1 bonus to initiative rolls. Also it's enchanted weapon, so it got +1 bonus. Even if you're not using bow, it's a nice bow to have in your inventory for extra initiative. Then, since we are relying on movement speed, Haste Helm is just pretty good slot. You will find it in a box in Blighted Village. Even with basic armor, we got already 15 armor class. If we find better armor with like 12 armor class, it's already higher, but we can make it even higher with stuff like a Ring of Protection that you get from stealing Idol quest line in Druid's Grove. At the same time, we're dealing some damage, and it's nice to deal more damage, therefore Caustic Band is a nice addition. You can buy this band from Underdark Trader, and Brute Mother's Revenge that you can get from Kaga in various ways. After you being healed, you will get extra poison damage on top, because it will coat all your weapons in poison. Pretty nice buff. For glove slot, I would suggest to use Gloves of Baneful Striking. Description is a little bit weird again. Whenever you deal damage with a weapon attack, target receives minus 1d4 penalty to its saving throw against your next spell. We're not dealing and doing any spells whatsoever. But as you can see with these gloves, it also works on our dirty tricks. Again, a little bit of misleading description in items. It happens in this big game. Demanus got hit by piercing damage, got hit by extra damage from our ring, and he succeeded on saving throw against disarming dirty trick. But since I attacked him before with my basic weapon attack, he was forced to reroll his dice, and now he lost his weapon. We can even finish him with sneak attack like this. As you can guess, we are pretty powerful character. And of course we're getting a little bit more powerful by leveling few levels above. So we got an option to continue leveling as a rogue. Also Uncanny Dodge is nice passive. From time to time we can lower damage that we take if we take damage, but then we will lose momentum and also extra feat that we can choose otherwise. Therefore, it's up to you if you want to hit level 5 as rogue or not. Right now, you can choose it later, but I suggest to pick fighter subclass exactly at this point of the game. We will have bonus actions that will give us ability to heal ourselves as fighter, so it's not useful a lot, but sometimes it can save you. Most importantly, we will get proficiency in medium armor, and medium armors is just great in the game. The best armors in the game, most of them is medium, so unlike our squishy rogue friends, which using only light armor, we can use medium. Also, fighter comes with fighting style from the first level of its subclass, and we got two choices. You can go with defense for +1 bonus to armor class to be a little bit more tanky, or if you want more damage, go with dueling. I will go with dueling as this class right now. And then we basically continue as fighter. At level 6 we will unlock our action surge. It will give us ability to have extra action, so we can instantly attack more on one turn, and it's really great. And then at level 3 of fighter, we need to pick a subclass. There's actually two choices over here. You need to forget about Arcane Archer and Eldritch Knight. Our stats is not sufficient for them, we need more intelligence. Therefore, you can go with Champion and just have better critical hit chance. It's nice for Rogue, but you won't have any other good stuff for Champion Fighter. If you want a little bit more variety, then go for Battle Master, and that's how to make our Swashbuckler insanely overpowered, of course. Battle Master comes with different maneuvers. So in case you don't want to use your dirty tricks, you can use maneuvers. Some maneuvers like disarming attack are really great, but we got our dirty tricks that require no additional resource. Since maneuvers will use your superiority dice, it's extra resource for this fighter subclass. Therefore, I recommend to get menacing attack. It's insanely good, since it will frighten your target, and it's insanely good because it will force target to stand still. It just cannot move. Menacing attack is just very good. Then you can get something like pushing attack or trip attack. It will push targets away, so if you like to push targets left and right, it's nice. Trip attack will force target to lie on the ground a little bit, so it will lose half of the movement speed. It's nice to disengage or just save your allies from targets. And while you can save your allies from your targets by using menacing attack all the time, it uses different saving throws. Trip attack will use strength, and frightening menacing attack will use wisdom. So you can choose whatever is better for your opponent. And we got one more choice, it will be riposte. Riposte is just great. Now you can use a reaction, and if enemy misses you, you can retaliate with reaction with extra damage on top. and it's just super powerful. By picking fighter, you will get feat at level 4 as any other class. Right now pick whatever you haven't chosen before, so it can be alert, savage attacker or ability improvement. For me it will be a savage attacker right now, for more damage, but alert is better a little bit. And at level 5 fighter you will get extra attack with your action. So at this point of the game, depending on where you are right now, if you're already in Act 2, upgrades you are looking for is basically stuff that will provide you better armor class, like evasive shoes for example, or cloak of protection. But before going into Act 2, don't forget to visit Adamantine Forge, and if you got access to it, then craft Adamantine Scale Mail. It will protect you from enemy critical hits, and it's just one of the best medium armors throughout the game until you reach Act 3 and get access to medium armors that will provide you with exotic material bonus, which will take full bonus from dexterity. Or you can get something like this in Act 2 also. Coolest part about Battle Master actions that we added to our build is they can be used as range attacks also. That's why again you can look for some good bow upgrades for your character and have nice ability to frighten your targets even from their range, with extra sneak attack bonus damage. As fighter, our action will give us ability to use 2 attacks in one turn, therefore we can technically start unleashing 3 attacks in one single turn by using 2 attacks from our action, 1 bonus action, dirty trick like sand toss for example, and then safely disengaging. Very mobile, very powerful way to play. And that's not it, we can use action surge to have 1 more action, and depending on difficulty you will have 1 more attack, or even 2 attacks if you're playing on lower than tactician. So, funniest part, it's not even our peak form, and we are not in best in slot gear yet, but already we got 21 armor class, which is pretty insane. So it's really hard to hit us for our targets. Oh my goodness. The main question, can we be even more deadlier before reaching Act 3? And yes, actually can be even more powerful before reaching Act 2. To do it, you need to unlock hirelings. Coolest part, you unlock them when you are about level 3 or at least at level 4. If you don't know, you can get hirelings from wizards, but I guess you know how to do it. You need Sir Fuzalamp or any other guy who can be converted into wizard. Of course, he's starting as wizard, so it's a little bit easier. And you prepare some spells, level him up. At level 3 you want to prepare spell called Shadow Blade. This spell became a lot more powerful than before, because after you cast it with your bonus action, you will get the Shadow Blade until long rest. And Shadow Blade is really powerful because it's dealing 2d8 psychic damage. No enemies at this point of the game will have protection from psychic damage. At least most of them won't have, and still 2d8 is just biggest roll you can get on damage for your weapons at this point of the game. The next up, we want to drop any item in his inventory, so I dropped a bunch of healing potions, then dismiss this hireling with I have no more use of you, and resummon him again. This will create permanent Shadow Blade in his hands, so if you like to use a little bit of tricks like this, well, that's how you do it. Yes, you can do it unlimited amount of time, so just summon Shadow Blade, wait for it to appear, give him potions and lotions, ask him to go away, he disappears, we buy him again, and now tada, we can dual wield these blades if you wish to. We don't need to dual wield, since we got lots of bonus actions anyway, and since we're using dueling fighting style as fighter, we need to keep our offhand empty. By the way, don't worry about gold, you can pickpocket all the gold from wizards, we are good rogue, so it won't take a lot of attempts. This blade is just insanely powerful and will carry us until Act 3 easily. And that's how we will level until Act 3. We will get our feat at level 6, it should be last feat we haven't taken yet, so it can be alert. Then level 7 fighter will give us ability to pick more maneuvers, it doesn't matter, just pick whatever you like. And now level 12 we will get 1 more feat from fighter. Again, as I told you, you can pick this feat, you can get more constitution for example, for more health overall, to be more tanky. You can pick lucky feat for like rerolls of different attack rolls, ability checks and saving throws. Or you can just get 1 more level in a rogue and finish with 7 fighter, 5 rogue, because uncanny dodge is really powerful stuff. The only stuff left for us is to upgrade our gear in Act 3. There's 2 choices, one for better defense, it will be armor of agility, exotic material, 17 armor class, it's medium armor, so it's insanely powerful, and we will have 24 armor class. We can lower it a little bit and keep 21 armor class, but we will get ballist armor. Ballist armor will make any enemies nearby vulnerable to piercing damage, and that's what we want to have as our weapon in Act 3. It's duelist prerogative. There's other rapiers, but it's legendary +3 rapier, which also gets a lot of extra damage on top. It got better chance for critical hit. We will get 2 reactions per turn. And as a reaction we can do damage, and we got loads of ways to use our reactions, so it's pretty nice bonus. And also on a hit with this weapon we can use our reaction to deal additional necrotic damage. It's just insanely powerful stuff. We still can use the same gloves we used before, or you can upgrade it to Legacy of Masters to get +2 bonus to attack damage rolls with weapons. Another option is to get any gloves that gives you extra damage on top. Again, if you're looking only for damage, you can buy Cloak of Displacement to give enemies disadvantage on attack rolls, and it will last until you take a damage every turn, so it's like one of the most powerful cloaks in the game. It's just great choice. Even if you have 1 less armor class, it's actually a lot better to give enemies disadvantage than to have 1 more armor class. And for helmet, we're looking for Mask of Soul Perception, if you can give it to this character, because you will get bonus to attack rolls. You can get any other light or medium armor helmet if you don't want this, but again, it doesn't matter a lot. Even without this helmet, we are pretty powerful and crazy. We always will have insane initiative, attack first. That's how our damage will look like. For example, basic menacing strike can hit for up to 39 damage with just 1 single hit, and we can add sneak attack on top for even more damage. If using ballist armor, of course, all numbers is doubled, so it's like 80 maximum damage for this, 40 maximum damage for sneak attack, 2 attacks with 1 action, which is pretty crazy. We can't use sneak attack 2 times in 1 turn, but we will have reaction, so we can add this Withering Cut for extra necrotic damage, and bonus action to make enemy to lose his weapon with extra necrotic damage on top. Yes, yes, yes. Probably this guy will miss attack, and guess what? It's really hard for them to hit us. But when he misses, we get our reaction. That hits him even more. Coolest part, it's kinda his turn right now, so he taking insane amount of extra damage on top. As you can see, we're rolling loads of extra damage, and we're also adding this Withering Cut on this turn. Or we can keep it and deal this damage to another enemy who misses attack on us with our second reaction. So technically we got 4 reactions every turn, which is pretty crazy and insanely powerful. Yes, that's the insanely broken Swashbuckler Rogue. I hope you enjoyed the build and you will have blast playing it in your Baldur's Gate 3 adventures. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now and see you there.